Why should you drink bitter? There is a whole another side of medicine that you don't know. Bitters is, as the name implies, an infusion that's created from predominantly bitter ingredients. These ingredients comprise aromatics and botanicals that can include any combination of herbs, roots, bark, fruit, seeds, or flowers. To understand this drink, you have to go back in time, before modern medicine. This apothecary staple was first marketed in the 1700s as a remedy for common ailments such as digestion irregularities. Medicinal herbs and botanicals were preserved in alcohol and touted as a cure-all. Throughout the next few centuries, bitters would be used for everything from a stimulant for the troops in the 1800s to a proposed treatment for malaria trusted source before making their way to the modern happy hour menu. So drinking bitter once in a while don't hurt, please. For the International Translation Health Store. The health benefits for bitters. How is simply eating something bitter tasting better for your health? Scientists label bitter as one of the 7 basic tastes. Our body contains tons of receptors, trusted source, for bitter compounds in not only our mouth and tongue, but our stomach, gut, liver, and pancreas. This is mostly for protective reasons. Our bitter receptors are built as a warning to our body, as most dangerous and poisonous things are highly bitter tasting. The stimulation of these bitter receptors promotes healthy digestion by increasing digestive secretions. This leads to better absorption of nutrients, natural detoxification of the liver, and, thanks to the gut-brain connection, bitters can even have a positive effect on stress. But remember, bitters are not a primary treatment. Think of them as a health boost to help the body run more smoothly, from kick-starting the digestive tract to boosting the immune system. They shouldn't replace any treatment a doctor has prescribed. Digestion and gut benefits. When your digestion needs a little support, bitters can facilitate stomach acid and act as a digestive aid. This can not only ease indigestion, but also heartburn, nausea, cramping, bloating, and gas. Bitters for digestion and gut health. Gentian, dandelion, wormwood, burdock. Immune and inflammation benefits. Burdock is an inflammation fighter that has been shown trusted source to have positive effects in people with osteoarthritis. Paired with common additions, like ginger and turmeric, bitters can become an immune-boosting powerhouse. The anti-inflammatory compounds in these ingredients have powerful antioxidant effects to protect the body from autoimmune diseases. Bitters for immune function and inflammation. Oregon grape, barberry, angelica, chamomile. Sugar and appetite control benefits. Curb sugar cravings quickly with the help of bitters, which help counter the brain receptors' trusted source that drive us to consume sweets. Bitters can promote overall healthy eating habits and control overeating trusted source. Consuming bitter foods stimulates the production of PYY and GLP-1 hormones, which help control and suppress the appetite trusted source. Bitters for sugar and appetite control. Artichoke leaf, citrus peel, licorice root, gentian root. Liver health benefits. Certain bittering agents help support the liver at fulfilling its main job, removing toxins from the body and regulating our metabolic processes. Bitters give the liver a boost by aiding in the elimination of toxins and detoxification, coordinating the metabolism of sugar and fats, and helping release gallbladder supporting hormones like cholecystokinin, CCK. Bitters for sugar and appetite control. Artichoke leaf, silymarin, dandelion root, chicory root. Bitters can also have a positive effect on blood sugar levels. Trusted source, healthy skin, and stress. Common bittering agents and aromatics and what they can be used for. Bittering agents. Dandelion root is a powerful antioxidant that can reduce inflammation. Trusted source. Artichoke leaf contains the flavonoid silymarin. Trusted source, a powerful liver protectant, and has been shown to help liver cells regenerate. Trusted source, in mice. Chicory root aids in digestion and bowel function. Trusted source and can help regulate blood sugar. Gentian root contains cancer-fighting. Trusted source compounds and is used to relieve indigestion, loss of appetite, and heartburn. Wormwood aids in overall digestion and can help increase appetite. Trusted source. Licorice root is anti-inflammatory, boosts the immune system trusted source, and can soothe digestive issues. Wild cherry bark boosts the immune system and is shown to have an anti-proliferative effect trusted source on colon cancer cells. Burdock root is an antioxidant powerhouse that detoxes the blood and helps remove toxins. Black walnut leaf contains tannins which aid in inflammation trusted source and is considered beneficial to skin health. Devil's Club root is used as a treatment trusted source for respiratory, cardiovascular, and gastrointestinal issues. Angelica root is used for heartburn, intestinal gas, loss of appetite, and improved circulation trusted source. Sarsaparilla can improve overall liver function, as shown in rats, and has positive effects on certain skin conditions trusted source and arthritis due to its anti-inflammatory properties. Other bittering agents may include Oregon grape root, mugwort, orris root, calamus root, barberry root, cinchona bark, harehound, quassia bark. Aromatics. Aromatics can add flavor, fragrance, sweetness, and balance to bitters. Some aromatics even come with potent health benefits, such as turmeric, citrus, and lavender. Here are some aromatics typically used to make bitters. Herbs and flowers: mint, sage, lemongrass, peppermint, sorrel, lavender, chamomile, hibiscus, passion flower, yarrow, rose, milk thistle, and valerian. Spices: cinnamon, cassia, turmeric, cloves, cardamom, chilies, fennel, ginger, nutmeg, juniper berries, star anise, vanilla beans, and peppercorns. Fruit: citrus peels and dried fruit. Nuts and beans: nuts, coffee beans, cocoa beans, and cocoa nibs. The basics of ingesting, creating, and experimenting. You only need a few drops. Bitters are very potent, and dosing and frequency will vary on what you're using them for. But often a few drops will do. You can take them internally either by placing a few drops from a tincture on the tongue or diluting with another liquid, such as sparkling water or in cocktails. When you take it might matter though. If your goal of using bitters is to ease digestive issues, consumption should occur either directly before or after meals. How often you take them differs for everyone. While you can use bitters at low doses as part of your daily routine, you may find that bitters help you when used as needed. In the beginning, it's best to start with small doses of bitters before assessing its effectiveness and your body's reaction. Before you make your own, learn the basics. Bitters contain two things: bitter ingredients and a carrier, which is typically alcohol, although we'll also review non-alcoholic bitters. We'll dive deeper into this in the next part. Aromatics and spices may also be added to bitters. Common bittering agents include dandelion root, artichoke leaf, wormwood, burdock root, gentian root, angelica root. Spices, botanicals, and herbs are added as flavoring agents, but in some cases they also provide additional benefits, i.e. lavender in a stress relief bitters. These aromatics, to name a few, can include cinnamon, chamomile, vanilla, dried fruit, nuts, cocoa or coffee beans, hibiscus, mint, ginger, turmeric, peppercorns, juniper berries, anise. The ratio. The best thing about bitters is that you can really experiment. While there's no set-in-stone ratio for bitters, the general proportion is typically 1 part bittering agents to 5 parts alcohol, 1:5. Botanicals and aromatics are generally a 1:2 ratio to bitters or equal parts. Here's what you need to make and store bitters at home. To make and store bitters properly, the following tools and equipment are needed. A mason jar or other container with a tight-fitting lid. Glass dropper bottles, if making tinctures. Measuring cups and spoons, or a scale. Spice grinder, or mortar and pestle. A fine mesh strainer, cheesecloth may also be used. A funnel. Labels. Can it be alcohol-free? Bitters is traditionally and most commonly made with alcohol. Alcohol used to make bitters is typically between 40 to 50% ABV. Alcohol helps extract as much as possible from the bittering agents, while also preserving the shelf life of the bitters. The amount of alcohol in a single dose of bitters is very minimal. However, you can still make bitters without alcohol. Bitters can be made with glycerin, a liquid sugar, or with a non-alcoholic spirit like seedlip. How to create your own bitters. Making your own bitters doesn't have to be intimidating. Actually, it's easier, more hands-off, and takes less effort than most realize. About 90% of making your own bitters will be waiting for it to be ready, as bitters takes a few weeks to infuse. Let's learn the basics of bitters in this step-by-step DIY guide. A snapshot at creating your own recipes. If you have an idea of what you want to put together, you can follow these instructions. Directions. Combine bittering agents, aromatics if using, and alcohol using a basic 1:5 ratio of bittering agents to alcohol. Place the bitters in clean glass jars with a tight-fitting lid. Mason jars work well. Label the bitters. Store the bitters in a cool, dry place, like a cupboard. Shake the jar of bitters daily. Infuse the bitters for several weeks. The length of time needed will depend on the ingredients used. You can infuse bitters for as little as 5 days for milder bitters, or up to 3 weeks. Strain your mixture using a cheesecloth or fine mesh strainer. Bottle your bitters in containers or tinctures. Fresh or dried herbs and botanicals can be used. If using fresh, aim for a 1:2 ratio of ingredients to alcohol, and if using dried, stick with the 1:5 standard or less. Recipes to start with. Stress-relieving bitters. Immune-boosting bitters. Digestive bitters. The alcohol. Use alcohol with a 40 to 50% ABV. Vodka is a great choice because of its clean, neutral flavor, but bourbon, rum, or rye also work. To make bitters alcohol-free, use a non-alcoholic spirit such as seedlip. But note that alcohol-free bitters have shorter shelf lives. Since alcohol is a natural preservative, the higher the alcohol content in bitters, the longer the shelf life will be. Infuse time. Bitters should infuse for 5 days to 2 weeks. The longer bitters infuse, the stronger they'll be. You should let your bitters sit until it develops a prominent, potent flavor and smells very fragrant. To make your bitters even stronger, infuse for 4 weeks. Where to buy? Purchase the herbs and bittering agents for your homemade bitters easily online from websites like Mountain Rose Herbs. If you're not ready to take the plunge into DIY bitters just yet, there are many companies making bitters. Popular brands you can buy from. Urban Moonshine offers digestive bitters, healthy liver bitters, and calm tummy bitters. $18.99 per 2 ounces. Flora Health makes alcohol-free Swedish bitters. $11.99 per 3.4 ounces. Scrappy's Bitters offers a vast variety of bitters, from lavender to celery, for cocktails and beyond. $17.99 per 5 ounces. Angostura Bitters is one of the oldest makers of bitters still around today, $22 per 16 ounces. The general cost of bitters. The cost of making your own bitters will vary by the herbs and bittering agents you're using. The most common bittering agents: burdock root, artichoke leaf, angelica, dandelion root, and gentian, average $2.505 per ounce. Who shouldn't take bitters? Bitters should be avoided by people with certain health conditions or anyone who's pregnant. Bitters may also interact with certain medications and should not be used by children. Always speak with your doctor about possible interactions of medicinal herbs and plants with your current medication, or a licensed herbalist. Examples of side effects or complications include: burdock root may have a moderate effect on anticoagulants and diabetes medications. Dandelion may interfere with the absorption of antibiotics. Trusted source. Artichoke leaf should not be used by those with gallstones as it may increase bile flow. Trusted source. Angelica root, yarrow, mugwort, and passion flower, among others, should not be used by pregnant women as it may cause harmful uterine contractions, miscarriage, or premature labor. Wormwood shouldn't be used by those with kidney disorder or a history of seizures. Gentian root shouldn't be used by those with low blood pressure. Those with allergies or sensitivities to certain plants, flowers, or herb families should avoid bitters containing them. You can eat your bitters too. While bitters aren't the magical cure-all they were once marketed as, they certainly have their benefits. If waiting and making your own bitters doesn't sound like your ideal way to spend time, you can also gain similar benefits by simply eating bitter foods. The benefit of bitters can be found in these foods: bitter melon, dandelion greens, cranberries, broccoli, arugula, kale, radicchio, endive, Brussels sprouts, dark chocolate. Create an on-the-go bitters. Reap the benefits of bitters from anywhere by transferring your bitters into glass dropper bottles, which can be easily purchased online. Tinctures are especially helpful for using bitters to ease digestion woes or curbing sugar cravings when you're on the go. Tiffany LaForge is a professional chef, recipe developer, and food writer who runs the blog Parsnips and Pastries. Her blog focuses on real food for a balanced life, seasonal recipes, and approachable health advice. When she's not in the kitchen, Tiffany enjoys yoga, hiking, traveling, organic gardening, and hanging out with her corgi, Coco. Visit her at her blog or on Instagram. This video was helped to create from the Healthline.com.